Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica!
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm Jim Dandy. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm great. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I'm Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And we are here to rant and rave.
Wowie zowie. Jessica and I spent like an hour before this trying to figure out some volume issues we're having. And Jessica was very low on volume. And I am happy to report that she is not low on volume according to that opening in my ears.
Happy to oblige, milady.
Oh my God, it's so loud.
Oh my God. What if I sit back like this?
Yeah, it's fine. And then we'll just play head bobbing volume all the We had some issues. It was actually me that was having issues with my arm. Look, us girls, we're trying to cobble together equipment we can afford. That's all that there is to it. That's all there is to it. We're doing our best. If anybody wants to donate a sound studio and staff to us, we would be very appreciative.
Please. We take all denominations. I bet I can dig up my coin roller.
Yes. Also, if you have a studio, I'm going to say within a 50-mile radius, we might take you up on it.
Hey. I heard Santa Ana put in a new podcast studio.
Oh my God. You would think literally everyone has podcasts now. You'd think there would be like convenience store studios where they're like $1 an hour. That's just in my dreams.
I wish. Like a FedEx desk workstation, but we go into our own little pod. Maybe I just found the business we need to start together. Oh my
God, maybe you did. This is it for us. This is it. Yeah.
Make no mistake about it.
Now, is that Kenny Loggins or the other?
How dare you? You're the Loggins. I'm the McDonald's.
Come on, Loggins and McDonald's. I mean,
he
pretty
came from
close.
Somewhere back there not long ago. Sentimental fool.
It is so hard for me right now not to YouTube one of his performances so that I can see if his shoulders are on a swivel the way that yours are. If you're not watching us on YouTube, those are the moments you're missing. Yeah.
You are missing my gray feathered hair. I look exactly like him. Okay. I haven't had my hair colored in 6 months. Okay.
I can't even tell. You look all of 27.
Oh, thank you, milady. Thank you for the half-life. What are you, carbon dating me?
Oh my God, you're a crazy person. Did we sing and we are here to rant and rave?
We did.
I forgot.
I even gave a little bit of vibrato. Dana, how was your week?
Well, first of all, we have to say, we're back! Happy 2020!
Yes, this is our first official recording of the year.
That's right. We have not recorded together since before Christmas because Christmas happened. You were supposed to leave the country. That was delayed a little bit. I don't know if you're going to talk about that or not. So you ended up staying a little bit later in Canada, which then bumped up to my trip to Mexico. So we have just been ships passing in the night for the last month or so.
Not world travelers, but North American travelers.
Yes, yes.
We stayed on the continent, but left the border of our own nation.
Correct.
I'm Ted Koppel.
I was in the sea. Dana and Jessica were eaten by a pack of wolves tonight. Do you remember that?
That's a damn good impersonation.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Jess.
Okay, this. You guys, I got to finally meet the missing links of the immediate Powell family. I had already met Dana's sister Denise several years ago, but I got to meet baby sister Tiffany and dad Gary, who my husband, I think if he was allowed to, not by me, but by Gary, if he wouldn't think Alan's a weirdo, I think Alan would get in the car and drive out to stay with him for a week because
do you know how excited my dad would be? My dad says,
loved him.
You tell your friends anytime they're coming through, look me up. They can stay here. Like my dad, first of all, my dad loved Alan. He had already met Tommy, which was our friend Kate's husband, who was sitting across from him. So there was already some friendship bond there. And then he met Alan. I mean, he was sitting by Kristen Marie, who he adores. Here's the thing. My dad is the best, and we love sharing him with the people we love. But if we don't love you, you don't get our dad. And that is a loss.
It is. I'm serious. He is a national treasure, okay?
He's so wonderful. But I will say, I definitely feel like my dad loves my friends more than me. For sure. Like, no,
Mark
he had
Young.
such a ball. Yeah. He had such a ball with you guys. So they had driven me back from the cruise. I went on a cruise with my family. There were 11 of us. Man, that was a blast. I mean, there were highs and lows. There's always family drama.
Of course.
But the core memories were, I had never been on a cruise before, Jessica.
It's exciting.
I mean, I
Were
get
you
that
seasick?
in the world.
I forgot to ask you that.
No, not at all. I brought Dramamine with me. And so I never once got sick.
Wow.
I took a pill. The first day I was there, I started to feel a little queasy because it got so bad. The seas were really rough. It was during the state of emergency in California. So the seas were rough. So we were supposed to stop in Catalina, and we didn't. We blew on by. But I'm telling you, I took that Dramamine, and I just felt like I was being cradled like a baby.
Nice.
It was nice.
I'm really glad that worked for you. I'm serious.
I did,
and
not
I was
have an
really
issue.
bummed. I forgot they canceled Catalina.
That's all right. I can get back to Catalina so easy. It wasn't that big a deal.
True.
I'll be honest. You know, they always say there's some people, there are cruise people and there are non-cruise people. It's a very specific niche type of experience. I have never experienced it before, and I loved it. I mean, it's 10 stories high. There's sweeping staircases and lights. There's free food and ice cream all the time, 24 hours a day. I mean, there's dancing, there's karaoke, there's booze. I just don't know what a person could ask for more in life. Beautiful sunsets. Got a video of a pack of dolphins going by. And of course, I can't not talk to animals. So I'm over the edge going, babies, what are you doing? Come over here. A baby comes swimming up to us. The pack is like, come on, baby. I'm like, no, don't go. Like, I have it on video. Baby dolphin was like, what is that crazy red monster hanging off the boat? But I really enjoyed it. My family, Tiffy had thought that there was an 80s night, and we get on the boat and there's no 80s night. So we had all brought 80s outfits. And I just said, well, I don't know what y'all are going to do, but I bought that outfit and I'm wearing it.
I love that you did that. I'm serious. That is the attitude to take into this year. Why not?
My whole family did. Even my dad had on a rocker wig, long hair, and like one of the servers through the restaurant we walked through, he was like, Megadeth, yes.
Megadeth, Gary. Hilarious.
Yes. There was lap dancing going on, not by my family. We were just viewers, but it was amazing. And then one lady walked up to me and goes, how did you guys know it was 80s night? I couldn't find it anywhere on my itinerary. And I go, oh, no, we're just crazy. We just decided it was my family. And we walked all over that boat. And like Denise, my middle sister, they had gone to a captain's dinner. They had gone to like they don't get to dress up very often, so they wanted to do something real fancy, you know. And so they met us down at the place where the 80s thing was supposed to be happening and didn't really. But they walked through that whole boat, and I'm telling you, my sister was to the nines. She had like that big blonde wavy, heavy metal hair wig.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Where it's almost spiked, but it's still 7 inches long.
Like Lita Ford.
Yes. And they walked through that. And her boyfriend Adam had the same like kind of long hair on, and they were in tight 80s clothes. They walked through that whole boat. No explanation to anybody, just coming down towards us because we were walking as a pack. We were a pack. So we were like loony bins together. They were alone. And then when we were all getting ready to kind of close down for the night, it was pretty late. And they were like, oh no, we're going to go look for the boys and embarrass them, because my nephews were on the boat running around. And so they were going to go find my nephews and just walk up to them dressed like that.
I love it.
Boys. So yeah, that was very fun. So that was, in a nutshell, my trip. How was yours? You had a great one. Yeah.
That is
once you got there.
So fun. I'm also sad, because we were just talking about her too, that I didn't get to spend more time talking to Tiffany, because she is just a doll.
She's so wonderful, but they were also just so exhausted.
Of course.
But I got to spend time with like my sister's boyfriends, which I really don't get to see a ton, you know? So that was nice.
That's very
They're
nice.
wonderful. Yeah.
I love that. Excellent. Well, you know what? I'll give a little quick recap. You guys, here's my PSA, because I'm not going to go into Rapture, even though I could tell you about my food culinary journey in Toronto, which was nothing but amazing. Right now, when you listen to this episode, you need to go get out your license, get out your passport. Oh, you don't have one? Better apply for one. And get your real ID. Because guess what, people? Hallen was trying to check us in for our flight, and he called me. I was at work, and he's like, hey, where's your passport? And I'm like, oh, it's next to my desk in that top drawer of that file cabinet thing. I'm like, did you find it? He's like, yeah. And I don't know what came over me, but I, for the first time ever, go, is it valid? And there was a long pause. How come it took you?
Yeah. Okay.
And he said, no, Jessica, it's not. And I started hysterically crying because I got so panicked, and I knew how mad he was, because it meant I wasn't going on a trip.
And you were supposed to leave the next morning.
The next morning at 7 a.m.
because I talked to you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you guys, let me just tell you, where there's a will, there's a way. I was hysterically crying. And a woman who I think is scared to death of me because of my persona at work often came in, because I'm sure she thought someone died. That's how loud I was crying, hiding in the owner of the business's office. And
because
I said, no,
fine. I just want to say for you, like, you have been working so hard up to this point with that goal in mind. Like, that was your finish line. That was your release. That was me through the holiday season. Now I'm with family. This is something I always enjoy. Like, you were beating yourself into the ground to get to this trip.
100%. And I was so proud, like, to the point where I said to Alan, I go, 2 nights before we had to leave, God bless, but that man came in and helped me work for 7 hours. We worked till 2 a.m. And normally I would have been so mad and in such a bad mood. I was like, yes. Gave him the biggest high five. I'm like, we're done. We're doing it. I was like dancing around like a maniac. I was like, I don't give a shit that it's 2 a.m. I couldn't be happier. I can go get my nails done tomorrow and relax and pack for the first time ever. Like, it's taken me a pandemic to grow up in many, many ways. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to tell you, a coworker overheard me. She said, let me call my daughter. She's really good at figuring these things out. The nutshell version is a woman who doesn't know me called 19 different passport agencies, like businesses that deal with that kind of stuff, and found me one that specializes in people in entertainment. I will give you details if you ever need it. You can DM me. I'm not going to totally disclose everything online.
That'll be for our listeners, because you don't know this, but I do. And I just didn't have the heart to tell you when it was going through this. I was trying to get my passport at the same time you were, just not as urgently. But we had come to the point where it was better for me to wait till 2 weeks before than before that.
Yep.
Okay. Just because of mailing and getting it on time. And
Sure.
we had been offered your appointment. So I'll let you tell people how you ended up getting it. But I was offered your exact appointment and we turned it down.
Excuse me. Well, I will say this. I had no intention of leaving my city, but they said, are you willing to go to San Diego? Which I go to San Diego all the time. If there's not traffic, it's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Well, there's always traffic. So it's more like 4 to 5 hours, or like yesterday, 6 hours getting back from San Diego, 6 hours. So they said, are you willing to go to San Diego? And I said, I guess. And they're like, oh, sorry. It looks like San Diego and LA offices are both closed tomorrow. They're always open on Friday. So it wasn't Christmas Eve, but it was the 23rd, and they decided to close their offices. So there was one office open left in the state, and it was in San Francisco. And they had one appointment left in the state, and it was at 8 a.m. And she goes, can you be in San Francisco tomorrow morning at the Federal Building at 8 a.m.? I said, I'm getting in my car.
Yeah.
I drove to San Francisco.
You had a friend go with you. We need to shout out.
Thank God. My
Scarlett.
friend Scarlett went with me. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm a big proponent of this. But if you need to make a long drive in general, it's not that. I've driven it many, many times. But when you're in distress and or tired, don't be a fool. Try to get a friend. I'm telling you, I nodded off at the wheel twice on the way home. I said it. It's not funny. And I said, I'm going to have to pull over and go to sleep if you can't drive. She goes, no, I can drive. But I'm like, because I can't anymore.
Yeah.
It was a real whirlwind. Anyways, I don't need to get into semantics. We need to move on with the program. But I made it 4.5 hours later, and a lot of money later. I had a passport in my hand. And also, go ahead and don't be in the situation I was in, because you know, when you get crazy, you just have your eye on the prize. I said, I don't care what it costs.
Right.
I was in that kind of mode. That's not a good mode to be in, kind of ever.
No.
I mean, unless your life depends on it.
Right.
But I will tell you this, and we will move along. Part of why I got so panicked, because at one point, Alan's like, maybe it's just not worth it. Everybody's devastated. We want you to come, but this seems insane. Like, he thought it was crazy for me to drive there and back in less than 24-hour turnaround and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so overwhelmed with paranoia. And I can mainly thank The Handmaid's Tale for that. I cannot explain to you the panic that washed over me, that I'm like, not only am I livid that I can't go to see people for a happy occasion, what if, God forbid, someone in our family died and I couldn't get into Canada right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I thought, what if something happens here? And by here, I mean anywhere. Everyone needs to have a valid ID that is accepted around the world. A California driver's license doesn't mean diddly squat in another country.
No.
So I am saying that with love and also with a lot of gusto. Check all of your IDs right now when you're listening to this. Right now. Like, push pause, go check your IDs, because my passport had expired 10 days before we left. It's the passport I flew to Canada on for my cousin's wedding this summer. So I just didn't think about it.
Oh my God. Well, I just let mine go during the pandemic in 2020. It expired, and I
Most
was like,
people
who's
did.
going anywhere? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
yes.
then you forget about it. You just don't think about it. And like, for us, we have to have
For
that
sure.
just in case we book work out of the country. Like, there's many,
Yes.
many reasons.
Yes.
But yeah,
Totally.
I was at the Federal Building at 7:00 in the morning, and I had an appointment, and the line was all the way around the building, and we don't have tiny buildings in Los Angeles. So that
they're
was
huge.
And people were having to step out of line that didn't have correct documents or didn't have an appointment and all this. And I can't tell you the tears. And it was
I
like right
know.
before Christmas. It was just heartbreaking.
It's devastating. Yeah.
Don't put yourself in that. Jessica and I are here to tell you, we did wrong. Don't be us.
Please learn from our mistakes. Okay?
Yes, please. Well, I'm glad that you got to go. I'm glad that I got to go. We both
Yes.
had fun, and now we're back, and we are going to try and keep this video thing going. We're going to try and grow this year. We're
Indeed.
doing our best. We're hoping to start up our Patreon very, very soon. Jessica, just make sure you stay on me about getting extra content for everybody. We're going to make our move this year, I'm hoping.
And I also hope that maybe you guys will even see a difference in the next episode that comes out, because I won't dwell on it, because it will be a rant and it will take the entire episode over. But let's just say that I'm on a new internet system as of literally an hour ago. And every time Dana and I are recording, it would always show me at best, at about 70 to 80%. Well, the entire time we've been recording, I'm at 99%, which is what Dana is currently at, I'm sure. And we are going to have a new dawn, a new day. Okay?
Yeah. We've been told for ages now that you were running at the highest ability.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
nothing could
not
be
the
done.
case. Yes. And that was definitely not the case. But
I'm gonna
now
let you
are.
go into your rant, because I can feel myself getting very hot under the collar, and I'm just going to keep smiling.
Okay. All right. Well, happy 2023. We're just going to roll right on into, I'm going to be honest, this is my own rant. And I specifically, again, said to Jessica, I have to rant about this. It's not always that I'm like providing rants for us, I promise. But this
I
was
want
so
more
shocking.
rants from you. Most of the rants I do are from me. She's apologizing that it's her rant. I just lifted my seat up to hear this.
And it's so petty and yet not. And I'll get into that. So recently, right before Christmas, a good friend of ours, Candace, had given me and Henry tickets to go to Six Flags. And I was so excited because Henry was going to ride his first big boy roller coasters, which he did, which he loved, just like his mommy. So now I have a roller coaster buddy, and I couldn't.
So good.
We had a blast, but there were some things that I noticed, like, I guess it's been a long time since I've been around a bulk of teenagers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm around them in little spurts. My friends that have teenagers who are on their best behavior because they're around friends of their parents and they don't want to get in trouble. Things like that.
Right.
Well, Six Flags is just a mecca for teenagers in the wild. Like, parents just let them go there. They drop them off. They don't look at them. They don't want to look at them. Sometimes they're not even there at the park.
Yes.
Okay. It's just paid babysitting with no supervision is what it is. And that's fine. None of these kids were like really causing too many problems. They weren't riotous. They were just being teens, right? But the thing that crawled under my skin so bad, Jessica, you know how I feel about breathing in people's insides. I don't like farts. I don't like burps. Okay? I think there's a polite... Did you just burp because I mentioned it?
As you did that, I swear to God, it came up and I almost just did it in the microphone.
It was like a contagious yawn. I said burp and you went in your hand.
The Pavlovian response.
I know, right? Here's the thing. Burping is very easy to keep your mouth closed. Is it still coming out? Yes, but it's not as loud and it doesn't come out with as much propulsion. And if it goes into your hand and then you say, excuse me, it's just going to flitter away right in front of your face, which I'm fine with, okay? You breathe your own burps in. Nope, not these children. I don't know if parents are not teaching, like, this would be on us, Jessica.
Ew.
These kids would be our kids. Are you not telling your children that when you burp, you acknowledge it and excuse yourself for spewing the inside air of your body, which is like digesting food, and then you spray it in my face with a projectile force so hard that it forced itself out of your innards into the air, okay? These children will be mid-conversation, like as if I was talking to you and then I just kept on going. I don't know how they don't vomit. And they don't care if you're standing in line for a roller coaster and everybody's 2 inches from everybody else's face. And I don't care if I have a mask on or not. I don't want your shit in my face. And acknowledge to the world that you know that gases exited your body with force. Isn't that hard? You don't know that this just went like a tidal wave of gases. And I can tell what I have to spit. I just got so upset. Her mouth got so juicy, she had to spit. I just spit in my own hand and wiped it on my pants. That's how upset I am. Okay? You know this is coming out of you. It's forcing its way out to the point it makes an audible and you don't even pause in your sentence. You just pick up the word and keep on going? What world do you live in? Were you brought up in a literal zoo? Was there no supervision to tell you gases leaked from your body loudly and projected themselves into someone else's space? You don't have awareness of that?
Oh my
I can't handle it. Just say excuse me. Even if you burped it at me and went, but I would still be livid, don't get me wrong. And if I didn't have better manners, I'd punch you. I'd pop you right in your nose, okay? But I won't. If you said excuse
me. A teaching moment?
For me? Yeah, don't
Did you lean over to your sweet, polite young son and say, do you know how gross that is? And we do not. I mean, he doesn't do that, but...
No, he does not. He says, excuse me, burps. He labels his types of gases. That's my fault, but it's kind of cute.
So cute.
Excuse me, burps.
I love it.
Yes, but I did. But it's insanity to me.
So gross.
They don't even flinch. And it would be like girls talking to boys, boys talking to girls, and they're clearly flirting, and they will expulse into each other's faces and not even flinch. I mean, at one point, I said to my son, this boy burped just like that in our faces. And I go, ew, Henry, what is that stink? That's why you don't burp open face like that. Nobody wants to smell your food. This boy was 2 inches from me, and he just looked at me like, what? He definitely had some sort of sauce, spicy meat. He had a spicy meat that I was tasting and smelling in my own body.
That's
because
disgusting.
He shot it out of his body so hard.
And yes, when there is a rank smell, you can taste it.
Yes, you can.
I know I can.
Remember doing improv shows and those boys would go out for sausage before improv and then drink a beer before they got on stage? And they'd be in that tiny little dank green room just pumping sausage stomach air into the... it would just make me gag. What's wrong with people?
I know. It's so gross. And I was always one of those people... especially because I was a smoker, you better believe that I always had mint flavored gum in my purse at all times. And that was like the last thing I did every time before I went on stage was chew gum so that I would not ever breathe my horror into someone's face.
It's not just breathing it. It is literally projectile shooting it. That's what a burp
is. Like a humidifier.
When did we stop saying excuse me? Pardon me.
That's a good question.
And why?
Honestly.
Because it's an unpleasant thing for other people to have to deal with. And I understand that we all do it. So just say, pardon me. I didn't mean to blow my stink from the innards of my body straight to your face.
Okay.
Listen, people.
What is that megaphone?
Is that the world's smallest megaphone?
Yes.
Bought it for your son.
And it stays by... Oh, that's a robot. It stays on my desk.
Okay, so I love that company that makes the world's smallest laser guns, the world's smallest all of that. Do you know what I got my anally retentive father? Who would dust bust under our feet while we were eating dinner?
Oh, wow.
I got him the world's smallest shop vac.
Hilarious.
Dana, it is so cute. It's like one of those canisters like your dad would have in a workroom or the garage or something.
No,
and it has...
I have a shop vac. Yeah.
It has attachment with like the long, like horizontal thing. And he was like, oh my God. And you plug it into the USB thing. And he was like, I just vacuumed my keyboard.
Oh my God. I love it so much.
Thrilled with it. That is a great company. They sell that at like those game stores. I don't know what they're called, but those awesome stores. They have one at the mall in Sherman Oaks where they have like every board game possible, tons of Funkos,
yeah,
and all that jazz. I saw like a whole end cap.
I think I got this at Cost Plus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking
that's
of
amazing.
Funko, just to get us derailed a little bit more, if you live in the Los Angeles area or you will be visiting,
yes.
please go to the Funko retail store. It's free
so
to go.
Fun.
Oh my God.
It's like a museum.
It absolutely is. I went with our friend Jay, and he was like, I don't really like Funkos. I was like, me neither. Let's go. Because we always are doing something weird together. We've explored the tunnels in downtown LA when we were not supposed to and just pretended like we knew where we were going. We went to the Death Museum together when we barely knew each other. I think that bonded us.
I cannot forgive you for that.
I know it was a mistake. But anyway, we went to the Funko place, and man, I just had a ball. And you should take your children and your loved ones and your friends there. You should go with Alan and take pictures. It's so crazy. I rode the Game of Thrones
I
dragon.
love it. I went right when it opened with my friend Nathan. Yes.
Did you make a Funko of yourself?
No, I wanted to. And then Scarlett told me she was going to make one for me because she knows I do like Funkos. And then she said, I'm sorry, because she lives right near there. She's like, I walked down to the store and the line was wrapped around the building. I said,
I think it's probably pretty busy. Yeah. We went during the week, so it wasn't bad. But anyway, I have to wrap up this corner. I'm very sorry. We need to start saying, excuse me, for our bodily functions. I know. Our body functions that are inappropriate in public and forced upon others should be excused and pardoned. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Maybe I'm an old woman for saying that, but
no.
I don't require a ton of manners. Minimal. That's minimal effort. Also, why do people have to have their mouth open when they burp? Why do people now, all of a sudden, nobody did this when I was a kid. Now everybody burps like this. I know if you're only listening to audio, my mouth just opened the size of my head. They don't just go burf. It doesn't come out between their lips like a burf. Their mouth opens and unhinges like a freaking snake. Okay, well, let's move on.
Well, you guys, this is a perfect segue, and mine ain't gonna be long because, like I said, I've just been way too fired up this week, and I'm really trying to contain it. Let me tell you something. You're talking about manners. You know what I'm really sick of? Older men. I know this would probably be not a popular thing to say, but I'm going to say it. Older white men in particular. I'm really tired of people acting like I am not there, meaning that I am not clearly standing somewhere in line and waiting to be helped or served. Last time I checked, I'm not tiny. So it's not a matter of me being so petite that you didn't see my height or my girth. Number two, is it because I'm a woman, or is it because I'm not attractive enough to you? I'm not a waif standing in high heels that you're not checking out my ass, so you wouldn't dream of stepping in front of someone like that. But this has happened a lot lately. And I told you guys about it last year when I was at the Hollywood Bowl, and I turned into a lunatic waiting in an hour-long line to get into the only market open there and directing people like Air Force Control, the line's back here! Like, screaming at people. Well, I did that to an older guy who was so gross and had a bunch of girls that were half his age with him. I was in San Diego for one of my cop jobs. I was going out with some friends that live there and my buddies that I drove down with from here. Shout out to Conroy and BOC. And let me tell you something. We love them. We were standing there and I said, I know you didn't just do that. Guy didn't turn around. The woman helping him didn't turn around. He had a wad of cash in his hand that he kept trying to slip to her because we were going to a place that's like really popular, I guess. And admittedly, we wanted to go. Yeah, it was kind of shishi, but it was in walking distance from where we had dinner. And I'm like, actually, I've been curious about this place. And our friend that lives there is like, oh, the place is always packed. Let's go. So he was trying to give her money. And I saw her go, no, give it to the kids. And I don't know what that meant. The kids that are slinging the drinks in the speakeasy behind the hidden wall behind you. By the way, I'm not making that up. That really is what it was.
She should have said, no, get in the back of the line.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't do that apparently at Raised by Wolves. Yeah, I said the name. It's called Raised by Wolves. It's a gorgeous bar in a super bougie mall in La Jolla Village Drive at UTC. That's like UC San Diego, like, is in La Jolla, which is gorgeous anyway. The shops and the restaurants and everything. But I'm like, is every student that goes here a millionaire? Because nothing was like this at my college. Okay. We had Quick Snack, KWIK, SNAK. So you could get some Velveeta melted on some tater tots at 2:30 in the morning when the bars closed. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I said, the guy pushed right when we were standing there. And by the way, I had 4 men behind me. I guess he didn't think they would be with me. I don't know what his thought process was, but I was standing there politely waiting to be motioned over. And I walked up and the guy literally touched me, brushed across me and leaned over with his wad of cash and said, I know you didn't have any reservations, but what can you do to get us in? I was so revolted and angry, and I'm just saying it keeps happening. And you guys, I really try to do my best to be calm and to be nice and whatever, but I am not staying calm anymore. I'm not going to be treated like crap. I'm not going to have people disregard me and other human beings.
Yes, that's why they continue doing it, I always say, because people don't call them out on it. So we know that I do. I can't handle it. And I want to, like,
you always have, to your credit.
That happens to me at bars constantly because I'm not hot and I'm also very short. And bartenders just do not serve me. And one time, this is kind of gross. It's a chuck, so I'll apologize before I even get into it. But this is how bad it is for me. I was at a Modern Family wrap party. And I had been standing at that bar to get a drink. He had served 4 other people that walked up after me, before me. And finally, the gag reel, the end of year gag reel was playing. And I slapped on the bar and I go, hey! And he turned around because it scared him. And I go, that's me. And I pointed to the screen. And I go, can I get a drink? And he goes, oh God, yeah. Sorry. Must not have noticed you. I was like, I think you did. And I took my drink and I left because I was
must not have noticed you.
I wanted him to know, I know you've been ignoring me and you fucking won't when you know that I'm on this show now. Now, every time I walk up here to get a drink, you better serve me when it's my turn. Because that is so ridiculous. You ain't up on that gag reel, I'll tell you that. And it just is so annoying. It's like, well, I worked hard for this recognition and I can't even get a god dang drink.
I know.
And I also want to say, and I don't know how to put this kindly. I don't know what the cause is, but I have been noticing it has really been ramping up amongst myself and my girlfriends that there are many, many men who are getting extremely aggressive with women. My girlfriend Gracie just posted the other day. She was crossing through an intersection and a guy ran a stop sign and was close to her. And she said, there's a stop sign. That man slammed on his brakes, put his car in reverse, reversed back up to her and said, what did you say? And she said, I said, there's a stop sign. And she said, I just acted like I wasn't afraid and I kept going. And I have repeatedly told stories on this podcast where things like that happen. And my one thing is, you wouldn't do that to another man. Why are you trying to intimidate women so badly? Because I'm sorry, I'm not afraid of you anymore. Like, you have shown me that you are petrified of our power And the fact that
Mm-hmm.
we all of a sudden are standing up to you again because the 50s are over and you can't put us back in our place. Because when you were at war, women ran our country. And so you put the
Right.
50s as the model for families. We're coming out of it, all right? It's been a minute.
Yep.
I don't want to serve you. I don't want you getting better than me. You take your turn. You do what you're supposed to. And don't you dare come back on me when I say, hey, what you did is wrong. And go, what do you want to say about it? I had a man do that to me in the middle of Burbank. And I was in a bad place. And he got out of his car and I go, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got out of your car. You're going to kill me in front of all these people? I said, I'm in a real bad place right now. And I'm just looking for anybody to take it out on. Come on. I mean, that's the point that these men are pushing us to. On the freeway one time, I had a man that almost hit me because he was looking at his phone, and I honked at him and said, get off your phone. I made thumb things. And he yelled at me and said, don't tell me what to do. Blah, blah, blah. And I go, are you tone deaf? I said, you were in the wrong, first of all. And second of all, nobody wants to listen to you anymore with your privilege. I might have to edit that out of this podcast, Jessica, but it's the truth.
my
That's
God.
what's happening
I know.
right now. And
I
they're
know.
getting aggressive. They're getting violent in their like you don't slam your car in reverse and come after a woman just because she said there was a stop sign. That's just a given fact. She's not fighting you.
Correct.
That's a fact.
Exactly.
And you know.
Yes. I think we need a cleansing
we need a cleansing breath. I know. Oh boy. Okay. It's been a while since we've had a good rant out, and man, I have needed it real bad. So what we like to do is rant out all the silly, all the angry, all the tense feelings we're feeling, which Jessica, you've had a lot on your plate lately. And then we just
getting better.
Yes. We take a deep breath in, we blow all that negativity out, and we spend the rest of the show filling up with giggles and funnies and good news. So let's take a deep breath in. If you can scream it out, go ahead. If you can't, okay, just breathe. Ready? Take a deep breath in. And that was very visceral, Jessica.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Oh my God. Okay, are we ready to go into corners?
Yes, you're up.
Am I up first with corners? This is so funny because I did see this week or last week. I don't remember when. The man with the world's longest nose is yet to have record broken. Now, there's a picture accompanied with it. You can find it online. Thomas Wadhouse was an English circus performer who lived in the 18th century. He's most famously known for having the world's longest nose, which is measured 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters long. A nose or a
penis?
Let me read some more here. This is from History Photograph. We'll get into that. Thus, if noses were ever uniformly exact in representing the importance of the individual, this worthy ought to have amassed all the money in Threadneedle Street and conquered all of Europe. For this prodigious nose of his was a compound of the acquisitive with the martial. But either his chin was too weak or his brow too low. Come on, let's not blame that on his chin or his brow. That was just an extra bit of nose. Okay? Or nature had so exhausted herself in the task of giving this prodigy a nose as to altogether forget to endow him with brains. Or perhaps the nose crowded out this latter commodity. Who made this quote? At all events, we are told this Yorkshireman expired, nose and all, as he had lived in a condition of mind best described as the most abject idiocy. Oh my God. Other records seem to indicate that Wadhouse was intellectually disabled and most likely suffered from some sort of facial deformity. He died around 50, good grief, although it was in 1780, so I guess that was probably a long life for him then. He may have served as inspiration for Pinocchio, which was published a century after his death. Now, I did not know that he was considered to be described as the most abject idiocy. I guess he was intellectually disabled, and that's very sad. Listen, the pictures that they've done, the recreation, you're not wrong. Jessica, it looks like an
I mean,
like a donkey dong.
I'm looking
And I
up what
wish
abject idiocy
idiocy.
is.
Well, we know what like abject horror is.
A foolish act or idea.
They were saying that he was foolish, but then they're saying that it seems to indicate that he was intellectually disabled. And so in those times, a lot of times the only way that people could support themselves like that is to be in circuses and things
I
like that.
know. I hate
But
that.
the thing that I'm curious about is because we can only see it from the recreation of his face from the top view. And I want to know how long those nostrils are. I'm just curious.
Very long. And your nostrils, I think, your nose keeps growing as you get older, I think.
Believe me, I'm aware. I see it on my face. That's why everyone's obsessed with contouring because our noses never stop growing.
Oh, that's a good point. You have a nice nose. I've never liked my nose. I always thought it was like very bulbous, but
it's getting bigger. I mean, I guess
I had a sinus surgery.
Oof.
There's no way I would ever have it for aesthetics unless I needed to.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, what his sinuses were like.
It's just too painful.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. And then they made this recreation, which I don't know how they went about getting, whether it was based on just accounts from other people or whatever. Although now, did you know they can recreate what you might look like by your DNA? Because, I watch all these. Yeah, I watch all these crime programs. So all you criminals out there better be listening. If you leave any DNA around, they can tell what color you are and the general facial features you may have. And they've caught people.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow.
I'm sorry, sir. I bet he had a rough life. But it is fascinating. Like,
totally.
Why it grew so rapidly in his lifetime.
That's crazy. All right, let me give you a very short and sweet corner. Thank you for that, Dana, and for our listener for sending that in. This made me so happy. It's so cute. This was also sent in by a listener. This is from our friend Sarah. In Italy, this is an Animal Instincts corner, and it's going to be one like real short and sweet.
Okay.
In Italy, an elite squadron of 350 specially trained canines from the Italian School of Water Rescue Dogs, I want to work there, has successfully been patrolling the beaches, working as lifeguards.
Aww.
Thanks to their willingness to perform strength and fearless exploits, including leaping from helicopters into the surf below to rescue at-risk swimmers. An average of 20 to 30 lives are saved annually by the doggy guards, and that number continues to climb each year.
Wow.
I need you to see how cute. They are all retrievers, either Labrador or Golden. Okay. I mean, there's Golden Retrievers, which is a different type of that breed, and then we have Labrador Retrievers. They're all in life vests, and I need you to see how cute they are because
that is so precious.
And labs love to swim. I mean, I don't think that's a secret. Like those dogs, if you grow up in areas with rivers and lakes, those dogs are leaping in there.
They're in it. Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
But I know it says, like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, maybe some people are against it. I think animals are incredible and can help in so many ways. And we know how amazing seeing eye dogs are. We know that dogs now
they love
sniff out disease. Yes.
Like,
especially certain breeds.
Yes. They want to be busy. A lot of times, behavioral issues are because a dog doesn't get walked enough, doesn't have enough to keep their brain occupied, and bad behaviors come out because they're not active enough or not doing enough to keep them calm. I think it's. Are they trying to say that we're forcing them to do something they don't want to do? Is that?
I guess.
I mean, if a dog doesn't want to do something,
it doesn't even say that. It just says, "What do you think?" And I'm like, I think it's amazing as long as they're being treated with the dignity that all animals should be treated with, regardless of what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I think it's great.
I think it's incredible.
Yeah. So
More
cute.
dogs, please.
Also, if I were drowning and a doggy came towards me, I feel like it would calm me down.
Right? Me too. Oh my God.
Babies.
So cute.
Thank you for that.
Right.
Thank you, Sarah, for sending that in. All right. Are we ready to quickly? I love how we spend so much time catching up and then on our rants. And now we're like speed jetting through the rest. I'm sorry. That's just where we're at on this first recording of 2023. I also have to say, when you're gone from something for a few weeks, it's crazy how you just forget how to do everything. Like when I was editing the episode, I was like, what am I doing? Have I ever done this before? How do you edit?
No, I know. I would be like that at work too. Sometimes I'd come back, and if there was like software on a computer, I'm like, I don't remember how to do a return. Like,
I know, right?
Just the simplest things that you do a million times. Then you're like, I don't, what?
Not our fault. Humans are made to move on. So
that's right.
All right. Well, my rave this week is very exciting. It's the volunteers of Burbank Animal Shelter. And I just want to say that that's where I got my little Lucy.
It is?
Yes, who I love.
Dana, I didn't know that.
Yes, I got Lucy at the Burbank, and she was we had to do a lottery for her. A lot of people wanted her. There were a couple of other dogs.
Cute.
She was so cute and so little. And there were a couple of other dogs that I really was like, I wish I could give them a home, but we had a small child at the time and it just wouldn't have been appropriate, but anyway, I took a picture of this little snippet. Volunteers of Burbank Animal Shelter, a 501c3 animal service agency, is devoted to providing medical, social, behavioral, and financial care for animals at risk and determined to eliminate animal homelessness in the Burbank community. So I just love that so much. When you go to their website, they don't have it's not like a great website for here's our mission. It says mission, and then you click there and it just shows the different missions they have.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that they have, there's so many ways that you can volunteer, adult volunteering, children volunteering. But what I really wanted to get into, they have foster programs, all of that. What I wanted to tell you is all of the programs that they have, and I won't get into them. We'll put the link in our notes, but this is so cool. They have a barn cat program. They have a cat socialization program. They have a Happy Tails Hikes program. They have a medical program. I want to say about Los Angeles, one of the great things about living here is if you have a pet and you need to make sure that they're spayed or neutered or whatever, we have a lot of amazing vets out here that do weekend work in mobile vets and offer lower pricing for things like that because people really want these animals to be cared for and to not reproduce in ways that they shouldn't. We have Pets for Patriots, which just sounds so cool. And then there's also Seniors for Seniors. That just makes me want to cry out loud. Seniors for Seniors. I have several friends that have taken in senior animals this year. I don't know how they do it. My heart would just explode. But man, they get the reward. I think they get both the animal and the human is so worth it. They just are willing to go through that. So anyway, this is the Burbank, Volunteer Burbank Association. But I would be willing to bet in many, many, many of the places where you live, you can find animal shelters that have volunteer. I mean, we've all seen the story of the elderly man who retired, and he goes every day to socialize with the animals at the shelter. Have you seen that?
Yes, I love it.
He takes naps with them. He plays with them. It's fulfilling for him. It's fulfilling for the animals. So there's many, many opportunities and ways that you can help. Not everybody can foster. Not everybody can adopt, but there are ways that you can give back. There's also things that they're always in need of toys, always in need of towels and blankets, always in need of any kind of food, whatever you can do. Sometimes that's just stuff we have laying around. You do spring cleaning, you've got your old towels and your naughty sheets and your things that you're just going to throw away because you're not going to donate those to another family. But that's what they use to line the bedding of the animals' beds when it's chilly or to make it softer, because when we got Lucy, she was laying on a concrete floor.
Absolutely.
So anyway, check those places out. If you're in this area, definitely go ahead and check out
It's
the
such a
Burbank
good
Animal
organization.
Shelter. It's a
And
wonderful.
so many
organization.
opportunities to volunteer there.
It's so wonderful. And that's something too that you
Mhm.
can do with your kids if you have kids and teach them about giving back and stuff.
Absolutely.
Anyway, there we go.
Thank you, Dana. And I
Yeah,
love that that's where little Lucy came
That's
from.
where my little Lucy's from.
All right. I'm going to talk about my favorite place, as we all know, Target. Okay.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, because I'm pretty sure that most of our listeners probably like Target like we do. But if you have not signed up for Target Circle, I don't like all these things where it's like pay $20 and get this off and blah, blah, all the
It's so
crap they
sick.
try to get you to do. Like
Yes.
CVS, it's like, well, I'm in here constantly anyways, and every time I spend money, I get a $5 off coupon. So why do I want to pay you for that? Why am I talking about CVS? This is a rave, not a rant. And this is about Target Circle. So what Target Circle is, go sign up for it. You enter your phone number. Every time you're at the checkout, you enter your phone number.
Right.
And what that does is, depending on how much you've spent, gives you money, like in your little Target Circle account. So like I recently was there, and by recently I mean today, and I opened up Target Circle and I had $26.81 in Target Circle that I could apply to my
Purchase.
order today, my purchase.
Wow.
So you're getting money. It's like a rewards program. You're getting money just by putting your phone number in. They don't text you or any of that stuff. So why am I telling you this? It's not just so you can put money in your pocket. One of the things that I adore about Target Circle is because, and I really do go on every single month to check this out. Every month you can go on to Target and you sign in to a Target account, or if you don't have the app, and you will see our little Target friend, and it says the results are in. We've split $15,000 with the nonprofits below from the last voting cycle. Thanks for voting. Well, I vote every single cycle. They pick, number one, something that I love. They choose organizations. Some are national, but meaning they would also be helping your area. They pick local organizations like the Volunteers of Burbank Animal Society, things like that, so that the money is going back to your community. It's going back locally, and I love that. My point of telling you this is they will show you like 6 things that they've chosen for that voting cycle, and every certain amount of dollars you get votes. So I go to Target a lot, and I had 30 votes to cast. Now, sometimes if it's just something that I love, or I'm like, this is a humanitarian aid that is needed right now, I'll give all 30 votes to it. But I try to spread the love. So this time, and as usual, I like every organization. And this past billing cycle or whatever, went through and gave each one 5 votes.
Wow.
So anyways, you see each one, like Volunteers of Burbank Animal Shelter, $5,177 received.
That's so
Feeding
great.
America, right? $3,703 received. So based on how it's voted, like for that billing cycle, they had 15 grand in the pot, and then it's all split up. So I don't need to get into semantics. This is an amazing program. It costs you nothing. Special Olympics of Southern California, Family Service Agency of Burbank. There's just incredible organizations. So without you spending additional money, just by shopping there, you can tell them where you want the money to go. And you will also get money in your pocket. It is a win-win. Again, please hire me, Target. We'd love you to be a sponsor. I'm at your doors at least once a week. I wish I was exaggerating. I'm there at least once a week on a personal level and on a work level.
Yes, because I think in other areas, when I lived in the Midwest, we only had one Target in town, and it was on the rich side of town. It was, far away from us. Walmart was kind of our only option. And, I understand that they have cheaper prices and sometimes we need what we can get. But in the long run, that does not help you or anyone else. It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah. They don't treat their employees well. It's just, and the reason that they have those prices is because they're dirty. So, So I like to support Target as much as I can, and
Yeah.
that's exactly why.
Totally.
So, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing, Jessica.
Indeed. Thank you.
What if it comes out one day that you were like a secret agent for Target and all these
I
years
wish.
of friendship and podcasting were just a big advertisement for Target?
I wish.
Someday I'll see a headline, CEO of Target, Jessica Young. I'll be like, what?
I'm like, Dana, start peeling back my skin.
Oh my
You're on
God.
Undercover Boss.
Oh my God. My only question is, are you that white dog with the red ring around your eye, or are you
Oh my
human?
God.
I don't know.
I'm the bullseye.
Oh, Jessica,
Oh,
I think
boy.
that's our show.
I think it is.
I think that's our show. Thank you so much for joining us on this ridiculous ride as usual. We
Yes.
are back and hopefully week to week again.
Uh-huh.
What do you have to
I'm
say,
wagging
Jessica?
my finger. No, I was going to say, I'll tell you how you can get a hold of us, y'all.
Please do, please.
Thank you for those of you who wrote in, and thank you. We had several listeners check in on us. You guys are the sweetest.
You're so
checking
great.
in to see
Thank
how the weather was. Oh my God. Yeah, the rain was awful, but we are good. Thank you so much for those who reached out.
We also had an earthquake. Did you feel the earthquake?
I know. No, I was in San Diego.
Oh, interesting.
Not that I couldn't have felt it there, but I didn't.
My cat Ollie knew it was going to happen. He woke me up about 15 to 20 minutes before it happened, and he was just glued to me to the point that I was going, "Are you sicky, buddy? Are you okay?" I thought something was wrong, and then we had an earthquake. He was trying to tell me it's coming.
So weird how they sense that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So please reach out to us to say hello, to send in any of your ideas and things that you would like us to discuss or share with the world. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at the Rants and Raves Podcast. You can email us at Gmail, the Rants and Raves Podcast at gmail.com. You can hit the contact button on our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. Also, new and improved, you can find us on TikTok at the Rants and Raves P, and you can find us on our YouTube channel. Watch an episode, you can download it, and watch the insanity as it unfolds. Thank you for those of you who watched last week's episode and for your comments. A little shout out to Gracie and Lennis.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. And one more thing, we would like to send our best wishes to our dear friend, Jen Hall Hill, back on the East Coast. We are sending lots of love to you and to your dad. So we are rooting for him and we are sending you love.
Yeah. She has put out a request for cards for her dad. If that's something that you would be interested in, email us and we'll get you an address that she can send, that you can send a card to him, which would be lovely.
Yes. So if you're like, I don't know who that is, well, you do, because she is the professional. I'm joking. She's not, but she should be and could be. The illustrator who started drawing the insanity of Dana and I, and they're so incredible. She's super
so
talented lady. Oh, man.
Yes. And also just a wonderful human being.
Yes. We love you.
Yes, we do. Is there anything you need to share that you've been watching? Or I know White Lotus is over, so you got nothing. You got nothing.
No, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a hiatus from TV.
Okay. Yeah. I get that.
Only just because I've been busy. So I'm like, you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no. And sometimes I just play podcasts or books or something just to get me through, so I'm not glued to a screen all the time. I did do a new series on, I don't know that it's a new series. I don't know when it came out, but it's on Hulu called Trafficked. And it is a news documentary series similar to like what Lisa Ling or somebody has done in the past. And her name's Marie something. She's fantastic. I can't remember. But the reason it's so fascinating is they have each episode's a different thing. So like one of the first ones I watched was scamming, the scam calls we get. Fascinating. Another one was printing fake money. Did you know that over $500,000 a year of fake bills enters our economy?
Dang.
And where they make it and how they make it is unbelievable to me. I'll leave it to you to watch. But like,
So
I'm like,
crazy.
could I do this? Clearly I couldn't. Also, it's wrong.
Oh my
But
God.
anyway, it's very fascinating. So that was interesting. But yeah, still like getting into the new year. You know, I have always, for the last like, I don't know, 7 years, every year I teach myself something new.
Love
And
it.
I don't know what that is this year, guys. I don't have anything on the horizon this year. So maybe some suggestions of things that I might be capable of doing.
I have the perfect idea.
What?
And I only say this because I was talking about this with John when we were driving to San Diego. He
Yeah.
has been using Duolingo and learning how to
Yes.
speak Spanish.
That has been hovering over me for decades because, you know, that's my heritage.
Yeah.
My grandma speaks fluently, and I have some cousins that do as well.
Mhm.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I feel like for me, though, it would require an actual like sit down class. I'm not
I
responsible enough
know.
to like
I need
play
to go to like
games.
Berlitz and have complete immersion
Yeah, same.
where they just keep talking to you in the language and it's like, you're going to have to figure it
You're
out.
gonna have, I watch a lot of Spanish television and I do pick up little bits and pieces. So I feel like if I
yes.
did immerse in it, maybe I would pick it up quicker. I don't know.
Totally.
But I wonder if I'm going to have issues because there's some Spanglish in my verbiage.
Sure.
I wonder if that's going to confuse me that I grew
That's
up
funny.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Like, you know,
Aw.
ay, qué linda, or things like when my mom was being hard on me and my grandma would be like, oh, Bobosita, ay, qué linda. And I was getting coddled. I also know, cállate, shut up.
Yes.
Anyway, that's neither here or there. Okay.
Hilarious.
I do like to end the show with just a little point to ponder, something to think about. Sometimes they're silly. These are actually not silly. They're just truths that I did not know. So we'll be out of here after this. Jessica, I'm glad that you made your trip, but I'm also glad that you're back.
Samesies.
I loved sharing my family with you and would love to do that again sometime.
Honored. Absolutely.
And thank you, listeners, for coming back. It's hopefully going to be a fun year.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Jessica, did you know that Toni Morrison is the pen name of Chloe Anthony Wooford?
No.
That's not her real name. Toni Morrison's not her real name. That's a pen name.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. Here's another one for you. George Orwell. Did you know that's not his name?
No.
George Orwell was the nom de plume of Eric Arthur Blair. Also, Voltaire, this is really reaching back. Voltaire was born Francois Marie Aret.
Oh.
I gotta be honest, their original names sound really great to me.
That's what I mean. They're quite regal. Why?
Maybe it was too much for people to remember. So, like, Chloe Anthony Wolford couldn't be remembered. People would be like, that's too much for my brains. Tony.
With an I.
Yes. George. Can't handle Eric Arthur
With
Blair.
an O.
I don't know. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And
Mhm.
real quick, if you had a go by, what
A
would
pen
it be?
name?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. And I do have
Mhm.
one because I
Yeah.
took creative writing in college because I was in love with one of the English professors in our department, Mark Drew. He looked like Carrie Elways if he had been mauled by a wolf.
Oh, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Oh, he had
was
like
still good?
scars like Chibs on Sons of Anarchy. Oh, real
Oh, okay.
hot.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
gotcha.
I don't know what happened. I think he got in some kind of a brawl. Hot.
Okay.
I was attracted to all of my male English professors, especially Dr. Wolf, who always leaned in. He wore a tweed blazer with the suede elbow patches. He'd always put his foot up on a desk and kind of lean in when he was talking about stuff.
There's
I
two
got
types
the
of those guys. There's two types of those, though. There's the ones that are just hot and they're real puss hounds. And
Yes.
then there's those that you look back in life and you go, Dana, that man was gay.
Oh my God. you would have had eyes for Dr. Wolf, and trust me, he was not gay.
No.
So I still haven't answered the question. My pen name.
Yeah, I want to know.
Because Mark Drew asked us all to have a pen name, and I brought this up yesterday with the cops. He said, I want everyone to hear everyone's writings each week and be unbiased. So if Dana writes something, I don't want you to know that Dana wrote that piece. I want you to hear it.
Smart. Yeah.
And give an unbiased, honest opinion and reaction. And he would mix it up, and he knew what everyone's pen name was. It would be like Dana, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Mine, Madison Elise, the two names that I wished were mine, and that I said if I ever had a daughter, it's what I would name her. Madison, of course, from Splash, and Elise, Elise from a Cure song, and it's just always a name I've liked. Oh, and Mrs. Keaton on Family Ties.
Why did you say, of course, from Splash, as if we're all so obsessed with Splash, the 80s movie, that we would know there was a character named Madison on there?
It's Daryl Hannah, the mermaid's name. He's like, what's your name? She's like, and she looks up at the street sign in New York, and she goes, Madison. And I was like, that's a great name.
Of course.
I am such a weirdo.
I love how excited you were to explain that to me.
Oh my God.
Well, I unfortunately duped you because I follow Mr. Wolf's advice. I will not be sharing what my nom de plume is because I might be writing pirate, fantasy, erotic fiction one day.
Oh, yeah.
I've pitched writing erotic fiction to so many friends that everyone must think I'm a weirdo. I just think there's a lot of money to be made.
I think there is. You have an untapped market.
That's right. Dusty driveways. Let's get the dirt off the roads, guys. Let's get some excitement going on. I don't care if you're a pirate or a Sasquatch. There's so many areas to explore. Sexually. Okay? There's something for everybody. All right. This is one of the weirder episodes we've ever done. I love you. We'll be back. Okay.
I love you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yes,